In the 16 days since July 4th, the massacre in Highland Park, we have had 47 more mass shootings in the United States of America. 47. That means that at least 4 people were either shot or killed in each of those incidents. That isn't happening anywhere else in the world. It's happening in the United States of America, and our political system is not responding to it as it should. I'm not sure. I wish I could say unequivocally, yes, I want to vote, but I know the reality of Senate procedure, and it is a difficult thing to work your way through it and actually guarantee a vote. But I can't think of a higher priority when you consider what happened in Highland Park, what happened in Uvalde, Texas. The list just goes on and on. We live in a divided nation. I think that goes without saying. Young and old know it. And you can see it and hear it in the rhetoric that is taking place. The Senate is divided 50-50. It is a perilous situation with very few opportunities for either party to prevail without bipartisan agreement. That's the reality. So I would say to young people who are frustrated by the system, let me join your parade. I share your frustration. There's a way to change this, though. Get registered and vote. Vote for the people that represent your point of view, who you think will fight for it. Don't let others make this decision. Be part of the decision yourself. Well, it gets down to the basics. The gun lobby was so powerful at one point that they said that you couldn't sue the manufacturer of the firearm if it was defective. Listen closely. If the firearm were sold to the public and was defective, if the safety switch didn't work on it, you can't sue the gun manufacturer. There is not another economic entity in America that enjoys that kind of immunity from liability. People who build cars, people who make electronic equipment, all of these people are subject to liability for negligence and for intentional torts. And we've made that exception, and we're paying for it dearly. Bottom line is this. I would sue the manufacturers of the assault weapons, the combat weapons that are now being sold, as being inherently dangerous. And I believe they are inherently dangerous. When I go to the floor of the Senate and tell the story of the survivors and those who didn't survive in Highland Park, it's pretty clear that those bullets ripping through the bodies of 8-year-old little boy like Cooper Roberts did so much damage he may never walk again. Absolutely. Listen, these are inherently dangerous. I'm talking about combat weapons here, assault weapons. These are inherently dangerous products, as far as I'm concerned. They were designed to kill people, not for hunting, not for sport purposes, not even for self-defense. They said yesterday, we had an expert testimony from a witness who said, when the Army chose this weapon, the reason they chose it was they thought and they knew that this gun, when fired, could pierce the metal helmet of an American soldier from 500 yards away, 5 football field lengths. Why in the world does anyone need to own a gun of that danger? I mean, the bottom line is, if you can rationalize selling these guns in the name of the Second Amendment, what's to stop you from selling a grenade launcher? Yes, I do in this respect, that I'm not a sociologist or a psychologist, but I'll just give you my curbstone opinion. I think people who are adrift in their lives and don't know how they're doing economically or what their future holds economically, may have other uncertainties about life, feel there's some certainty in a weapon that they can buy and they can control. And I understand it. And to some extent, if they're using it for legitimate legal purposes, if they're safely storing it, I don't have a quarrel with that. But I think that we've got to accept the obvious. We are a nation of 350 million people. We are a nation of 400 million firearms. We have some 10 to 20 million of these assault rifles that have already been sold in this country, and there's no end in sight. The sales are going up dramatically. This leaves us in a dangerous position as a nation, and it leads to Highland Park in Uvalde, Texas, and Buffalo, New York, as a regular occurrence in this country. I don't want to accept this as the new normal. That's not what America should be all about. I have little faith in this court when it comes to these issues. They are on a political mission at this point. That's why 75% of the American people disapprove of the Supreme Court. Congress doesn't get great grades, don't get me wrong, but this is a low point for the Supreme Court. And how did it reach this point? It reached this point when the President of the United States, Donald Trump, said, I'm going to a private special interest group called the Federalist Society and ask them to give me a list of nominees to the Supreme Court. I will choose from that list. He surrendered his power as president and handed it over to a political interest group. They did exactly what they were asked to do. They produced the names, and the Republicans produced the justices that match up with their philosophy. The American people are skeptical that this court really has their best interest at heart, and they certainly have a right to raise questions after what we've seen, decisions overturning Roe versus Wade, for example, when it comes to issues of personal security and the Second Amendment. I hope it doesn't take that long. When I consider the toll that these mass shootings is taking on the people of this country, I mean, and psychologically, we talk about making classrooms more durable and safe and this and that and the other thing. What we don't talk about and should is what's going through the minds of those children who are going to be returning to grade school in Highland Park in just a few weeks. Mayor Nancy Rotering, who's a friend and has been a great leader in this time of trial, she raised that point before our hearing and said, these kids are worried. They don't know where it's safe anymore. And that is a reality that's going to work its way through the body politic eventually. I hope we don't take a generation to respond to this, and we'll pay a heavy price for it.